Be sure to head on over to fusiongamingonline.com and use the code BuddyForce5 for 5% off.
Hey buddies, it's Dylan and welcome to today's video. Sadly, I won't have my face cam up. Something happened to the webcam that I'm using, and right now it's no longer in service. So unless I find another way of getting my cute little face up on screen, you're probably not going to be seeing my face for a little bit. Hopefully I'll get it fixed. But anyways, today we're actually just going to be looking at some Banlist predictions. So the last Banlist said that it was going to be no sooner than June 1st, and that's a few weeks away and people are starting to make their predictions. So I just went on Zodiac. I know a lot of people don't like Zodiac, but you know what? It's got some memeage going on, and this list is an example. So we're just going to go over some of the Banlist predictions that people have posted. I have two here. The first one, as you can tell, is really long, but we're just gonna go over it, and I'm just gonna give my opinion on what I think of this guy's prediction. So, starting off, he says, now banned Artifact Scythe, and just right off the bat, at first, I still don't know whether this guy is trolling or not. Like, I honestly can't tell whether he's just, like, messing with us, or if this is his actual serious prediction. But yeah, Artifact Scythe, if you guys don't know what Artifact Scythe does, is when it's special summoned, your opponent can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. I think that's... no. I'd be very shocked if Artifact Scythe got banned in the next list, or at all. Next up is Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. I'm pretty sure it's like almost guaranteed that this card isn't going to get banned, because it was announced that it's going to get a rarity bump in the new Battles of Legend. So if it does get hit, it's probably not going to be till after that set gets released. Predaplant Verde Anaconda. You know, if Konami just really didn't want people to summon out the new Dragoon card when it comes out, then yes, I think they would ban this, but I think it's also super highly unlikely. You guys also have to remember that when Konami does the ban list, they think about the cards that they have released and cards that are going to be released in the future. And they know that if Verde Anaconda gets banned, then a lot of people probably aren't going to try playing Dragoons, which means not as many people are going to buy the Megatin. So yeah, I think until at least Megatin comes out, Verde Anaconda will be at least at 1. And lastly, now banned Mystic Mine. You know, I don't agree with it, but it's honestly probably the closest thing to truth that's in his ban section. Mystic Mine is, a lot of people say it's a degenerate card. Like I said, Mystic Mine is a very divided card amongst the Yu-Gi-Oh community on whether or not it's really good or it's really bad, whether it should be banned, whether it should be hit at all. And I could see Konami potentially hitting Mystic Mine, maybe not banning it, but doing something with it. I don't think they will, but yeah. Okay, we're gonna quickly go through the limited section, because this guy's got a lot here, and a lot of it is just ridiculous. Now limited, Alistair the Invoker. This one could be true. This one is a very potential hit that they could do, because Invoked is just running crazy right now. You can throw it into nearly any deck. Invoke Shadalls, there's Invoked Eldlik. It's just Invoked right now, especially Master Rule 5, is such a splashable engine. I can see them hitting the archetype somehow. Now, in my opinion, I do not think Alistair the Invoker is the right card to hit. I personally think that if they either limited or banned Magical Meltdown, that would be a much better hit, because if people still want to play the actual invoked deck, or try to play a deck where a majority of it is invoked, they can still do it. But the huge issue with Magical Meltdown is that when you're playing a deck like Invoke Shadal, it stops your opponent from responding to any of your fusion summons, and that's pretty annoying. to say the least. So I think that if they hit Magical Meltdown instead of Invoker, I think it'd be a bit more balanced. Ash Blossom, I really don't even want to talk about this. Ash Blossom is not going to get limited. I don't think any of the hand traps are going to get limited anytime soon. This is just people being salty about getting their really bad Morphotronic combos ashed. Ashgraph Sorcerer, I don't think Ashgraph Sorcerer will become limited because Master Rule 5 was made inadvertently to once again lower the power of pendulums. So I don't think Konami themselves are ready to have pendulums come back in the limelight, and giving them an Ashgraph Sorcerer would do that. So I don't think that's coming off the list anytime soon. Blaster Dragon Ruler. A lot of people have been talking about whether or not the Dragon Rulers could come off the list. Like, everybody wants them off the list, and the question is whether they are power crept or not. I personally do think that the Dragon Rulers would be somewhat power crept, but with all of the other dragon support that we have nowadays, like the guard dragons, and we still have Red MD non-errated here in the TCG, not at least until they reprint it. So I think that the Dragon Rulers could go to limited. I could see that. I think it'd be a very interesting format, and I would like to see what happens. Block Dragon limited. Honestly, I could see them banning Block Dragon. Block Dragon is such a powerful card in Adamantipator, and being able to just recycle it and reuse it multiple times is absolutely nuts. I wouldn't be shocked if they actually banned Block Dragon, but I guess I agree that limited is fine. Perform Pal, Monkey Board, and Skullcrow Rat Joker. So my explanation here is the same thing with Ashgraph Sorcerer. I don't think Konami is ready for pendulums to be back in the limelight, considering Master Rule 5 was sort of inadvertently made to weaken them. Then we got two more of the rulers. Same thing goes for the other ruler, my explanation there. I do think they could come back. They might be a little power crept, but I still think they could be competitively viable. Adamantipator Risen Dragite. This is just ridiculous. The set just came out. Konami's not going to hit this whatsoever. Dragite isn't even the problem in that deck. It's Block Dragon, like we talked about. Ancient Fairy Dragon. You know, if they ban Mystic Mine and then bring back Fairy Dragon, I could sort of see that. Do I think they're actually going to bring back Dragon? No, not at all. Needle Fiber and Union Carrier. I'm going to put these two together because you can't really talk about one without the other. Needle Fiber is a very strong starter. Many decks are using it just to be able to get into their plays a lot quicker. Everybody should know what Needle Fiber does at this point. Special summons a token, and then on your opponent's turn you can summon out a Synchro. I think that if they do hit Needle Fiber and Carrier, it will definitely be a limit. They're not going to ban either of them. Then Union Carrier, it summons out a card from the extra deck and equips it to a card. So that's actually, he says he wants to limit Carrier, but he's banning Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. So if you're already banning Destruction Sword, there's no real need to limit Union Carrier, because this 2-card combo is what everybody knows about, is Union Carrier and then grabbing the Destruction Sword to stop your opponent from special summoning from the extra deck. So I feel like if you ban Destruction Sword, you don't really need to limit Carrier. So do these sound possible? Yes and no. I think that they could hit both of these on the list eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen on this next list. Harpy's Feather Duster to 1. I've actually been saying this for a while. I kind of want Harpy's Feather Duster back to 1. The OCG has it, and they're doing fine. Yeah, I think Harpy Feather Duster would be fun to have back to 1, especially because literally every card we are getting now is basically just a more broken version. Lightning Storm, for example. I guess that's the only argument that people make about Harpy's Feather Duster and I guess Heavy Storm not coming back, is because we have Lightning Storm now, which is basically a Harpy's Feather Duster or a Heavy Storm with conditions of not having a face-up card. So I would like to see Duster limited. I don't think Heavy Storm should come off. But I don't think it's going to happen because Konami's argument is we have cards like Lightning Storm. Next up is Evenly Matched. I don't know why you'd say put this at 1. That's just ridiculous. I think that Evenly Matched is a perfectly fine card. I know everybody likes to complain about it. I've been evenly matched before. Sure, it's annoying, but I think it's a fine card. I don't really have a problem with Evenly Matched. Same thing goes for Infinite Impermanence. I think Infinite Impermanence is fine. Everybody's been Impermanence at this point. If you've been to a locals in the last year, you have probably been Impermanence at one point or another. So I think that it's still fine at 3. I don't think there's any reason to limit it to 1. And then lastly, Return from the Different Dimension. I really don't want this to happen. That would be absolutely nuts. Especially with cards like Dimension Shifter that just banish all of your monsters for 2 turns, and then just being able to activate this, it's kind of nuts. So I really hope this doesn't happen. I don't think it will happen, but yeah, I don't want to see this come off the ban list. Okay, now semi-limited. Invocation. I could see them semi-limiting Invocation. I don't think that stops Invoked at all, because I'm pretty sure most Invoked decks actually just run 2. So yeah, I don't really see what the point is. I guess they could, but I don't think it'll affect anything. 1 day apiece to 2. I mean, yeah, you could, but I guess nobody's really using it right now. I'm just wondering, would anybody actually use 1 day of peace if it came back to 2? I'm not sure, you be the judge. 1 for 1, I just think 1 for 1 should stay limited. It's a very powerful card. I think it's sort of on par with Foolish Burial on how strong it is. This can definitely stay at 1. I don't think it needs to come at 2. And Upstart Goblin. I think same thing goes with the explanation for 1 for 1. It's a very strong card that can stay at 1. Plus, I like throwing in an Upstart when I only have 39 cards in my deck. And yeah, if if Upstart Goblin came to 2, you'd never put in 1, so I don't have to be running 41 card decks. I know that's a silly explanation, but No longer on the list. Cyberjar. I think this will actually happen. Cyberjar is the one that they put to 2 on the last list, I believe. Or that, if it was another one, if Cyberjar is the one they touched on the last list, then yes, I could see it no longer being on the list. Because Konami has started to do that with a lot of their older cards, where cards that were banned for a long time, but obviously aren't going to be super relevant right now, they've been slowly bringing those back to 3. Double Iris Magician, same thing goes for my whole Pendulum explanation. Danglong, I could actually see Danglong coming back. Maybe not completely off the list, maybe limited, but it's been a while, and I think people would appreciate having Danglong back. Ib the World Chalice, just a card. This is not happening anytime soon. They literally just banned this card. Very rarely do they go from banning a card on one list to putting it back to 3 on another without a very, very good explanation. So I don't think Ib's going to be here anytime soon. Next up, Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer. That I could see. If they wanted to do something to quote-unquote help Pendulum decks, this is what they would do. Because I don't think this will do much at 2 anyways. You only ever really go into 1. Even though you're only limited to 1, very rarely do you ever go into more. Monster Born, that I don't think that'll come off. I think it'll stay at 1. Same. Premature Burial, probably same thing. Regeki, same thing. It's the Lightning Storm argument, and Ultimate R offering, absolutely not. This card is honestly so busted in the game state where it is, because you don't really care about life points nowadays. As long as you have enough life points to live, you don't care. So having ultimate offerings would just completely destroy the meta. I think everybody would be running it, and it would be an absolute bonkers card, especially to have no longer on the list, have 3 Ultimate Offering in your deck, let alone at 1, it would be super annoying. So yeah, that's my opinion on this one. We're gonna quickly check out the other one. I think the other one's somewhat more balanced. I didn't really look at any of these going in, so yeah, we'll talk about this. Block Dragon banned, I agree with that. Jet Synchron banned. Yeah, I could see Jet Synchron getting banned. That's fair. Actually, something I've noticed lately is a lot of people are going into Deskbot 001 because then you can go into the Mecha Phantom Beast card. So I guess instead of hitting Jet Synchron, you could hit Lion, because people are doing that whole play where they go Needle Fiber into Deskbot and then turn it into the Mecha Phantom Beast link and then use that to special summon a Lion, and you just have a bunch of tokens. Wind Up Hunter, I don't think it should be banned. I think it's fine where it is. I don't think anybody's complaining about wind-ups right now. And Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Like I said, it's about to get a rarity bump. I don't think it's going to be banned on this list, but I could see it being banned on another list, a future list. These 3 get grouped together. I've already given my opinion on these. Zen Matey. Oh, I guess that's why the person wanted to ban Wind Up Hunters, because they were bringing back Zen Matey. I guess if you're gonna want to bring back Zen Matey, then yeah, ban Hunter. Otherwise, I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about too much. Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm argument, and yeah, Magical Meltdown. Like I said, I'd prefer Magical Meltdown hit over Alistair. Semi-limited Red Reboot, I do agree with this. I think that the Red Reboot hit on the last list was actually pretty foolish. It's just one of those hits that I do think they might actually revert very quickly. The same thing happened with Call by the Grave at one point and with a Assault Core, where it got either limited or semi-limited, and then the next list it immediately went back to 3. On to the last bit, we've got Destiny Hero Malicious Unlimited. I do think this is fair. I don't like that they put it back to 2. I think it was okay at 3. Putting the Ivagishkis back to 3, I think that's fine. Necroz of Unicorn, I'm still a little iffy. I think Necroz is actually super powerful right now, especially with the new Dragma archetype coming out. Necroz is going to be a threat, in my opinion. Servanum and Endymion, no, I don't think they're going to bring this back to 3. The whole Pendulum argument stands there. Ritual Beast Alti Canahawk. This one's actually interesting. Sure, yeah, back to 3, I could see that happening. I think Ritual Beast players would be super happy. I don't think it'd make too much of a splash in the meta, so yeah, I think 3 is fine. Daigusto Emerald, yeah, it was limited for a bit, and then we realized that no one's using it, so Unlimited's fine for that. Pantheism, I don't think, actually, for the last 2, Pantheism and Draco Face Off, I do not think that they will, they'll take those off the list just yet. I think they're going to wait a little bit longer. Maybe get settled into Mass Rule 5 first, and maybe they'll hit those off then. Okay, so that is the video. Let me know what you guys think. What are your guys' ban list predictions? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you next time.